welcome to the Gangcast, aka the Games and Not Games podcast. I'm Janet Garcia, and joining me, as always, is Isaiah Smith.
Hello.
We're here. We're back. The board, for the audio listeners, the board is decorated.
No, it was cool walking back in, seeing it. Here's a nice little hint to what's to come.
This is that office culture they were always talking about,
Yeah, we're finally
You can't
making
get this
it,
digitally, only in person.
Yeah, get a foosball table in the corner, a little cat scratch for Bruce.
Greg said that he would buy us that air hockey table. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
That's the real reason why we're getting married, is to just get this air hockey table.
And I don't want any of that, cheap out version where it's a table you can put on another physical table. No, I want to be able to rock that whole thing,
Oh my
Where would we put it? Well, we made space in the kitchen. We'll talk about that later. We made some space in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Where we used to dine, we will now game.
I like it.
All right, let's get into games. Starting with some board games, we alluded to the fact that we played some board games during my birthday, which actually I'm going to flip the order that I have these written. I want to start with what I call Bananagrams and the Revenge of Isaiah.
Yes. I finally won a round of Bananagrams, a game of Bananagrams. First ever. Contrary to what everyone in the room might say, I have only ever won this one game. It's the first game I won legitimately. You've lost games before, but I've never won a game.
If someone else gets rotten bananas.
Yeah.
Which also, I guess, let's zoom out. What is Bananagrams?
Bananagrams is like a Scrabble without the numbers. It's about picking up tiles, making an anagram, right? Of since Bananagrams, anagram of the letters you have, and exhausting the pile of letter tiles to sort of end the game, and whoever can finish first wins. Yeah. And of course you have to have, all valid words in your anagram. If you do not have all valid words, if one of your words is made up or misspelled or placed wrong, or for whatever reason it's invalid, then you have a rotten banana.
Yeah.
And you lose. Yeah.
You're disqualified. And that's if you kind of raise your hand, you shout bananas or something like that. And your board gets checked to make sure you won, kind of like bingo, right? It's wait a minute, you didn't get bingo.
Just because you yelled bingo doesn't mean you have bingo.
That's basically what it is. And then the way the game works is then you can, if you're going to play very by the book, that player then returns all of their tiles to the pile, and the remaining players play until a victor is crowned. But I just feel like that takes too long, so I just make it, okay, the next person who gets it wins. But Isaiah doesn't feel like that's a valid win.
No, because again, it's in a 2-player game. In a 3-player, maybe I could get behind that. But for a 2-player game, it's just the other person is inevitable to win. No, you didn't. I didn't win those games. You lost those games, and there's a difference there, and I stand by that.
I had to go to Google because I wanted to grab the official verbiage of Bananagrams, which is, I would say, one of the greatest games of all time. Is Bananagrams. I think it's awesome. I think too, to add a little bit additional clarity to the rules, which are pretty simple, frankly. You each start with 21 tiles. You flip them all over. You make a little anagram. You can also, if you have a letter you don't like, you're I don't know what to do with this Z, you can put it back face down, but then you have to grab 3 tiles. Whenever you complete your anagram, you yell peel, and everyone has to take 1 tile. And that continues until there are fewer tiles than there are players. So when it's just you and me, when there's 1 tile, or it might be even, 2 or less. I think it's 1, because we can do 1 less peel. So so when there's less tiles than there are players. But I went to the official wordage because I wanted to see what their tagline was, because I remember it was dumb. Their tagline for their game is, it's Bananagrams, the anagram game that drives you bananas.
Oh my gosh.
And their ages, they list 7 to 107.
That's such a bizarre upper limit. Usually it just stops at 99.
Players 1 through 8. I've never thought to play Bananagrams by myself. Honestly, I'm not trying to shade anyone, but that sounds very depressing to play Bananagrams.
Well, I feel like that's just cue list,
it's just
but bigger.
Big. It's really big cue list. Yeah, it's too big. I do cue list with myself. Not Bananagram. I'm not a monster. They also, I
have my limits.
I do want to shout out as well. They have I've come across it in the wild. They have a kids version. It's called My First Bananagrams, and one of the differences there is a lot of the letters the tiles you pull are connected. So they have T and H are together,
Yeah.
and like A and N are together, and A and T are together to like help you build words,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is really cool. Apparently, Isaiah, this might have been a dangerous episode because I'm looking at the Bananagrams website and they got a lot.
They have like themed ones, like Batman.
They got
Bananagrams
Spanish Bananagrams.
Okay,
but they got
little accents.
So
and
they
everything
have
in there?
it's completely just in Spanish. So they have like
Well, I mean,
the tiles
Yeah,
though
yeah,
are
yeah.
meant to. Well, so the reason I say that is because in any word game, it's based on obviously the the frequency of certain letters and stuff like is going to be like if you tried to play Bananagrams in Spanish with what we had, I imagine that it would be kind of tough because it still
Possibly,
veers towards they're not that different of a language compared to English. Like there's more different languages than you can go farther away from English than Spanish, but they are still pretty different. So I imagine that would be difficult. They have big letter Bananagrams for people that have visual impairments.
Like the big what is it? Big
Big
Uno?
Uno. Yeah, Big Uno's not for visual impairments though. It's just for big fun. They have one that says Bananagrams Party Edition. The tiles are all black. I don't know. The word's dirty. Like what's going on there? I don't know. They have like funky tiles.
You can only make dirty words.
They have Oceanic Bananagram. They have like a lot of stuff.
Cool.
Not gonna lie, I'm not picking up that Stars and Stripes Bananagrams. Not this year. No, thank you.
Fair.
But they do have they have winter. We saw Halloween in the store as well.
Yeah.
They have Bananagrams Duel, where it's like it looks kind of like cute. Like the tiles aren't singular. They're like dice formed. So I don't know how that's different. But it's the small space 2-player word race.
Maybe like you just grab one and then you have to roll it, and it's like a mix between Bananagrams and Q-List, like legit.
I think so, yeah. And I think it's meant to be like small, or I don't know, maybe the rules are you can turn it around. Obviously, we can just read these, but it's going to take forever. They have the world's smallest Bananagrams. It's like really tiny. So, yeah, I know. I just found like 8 things to add to my next birthday Christmas list. So I'm leaving this tab open just so that we have it because I'm going to be
is growing,
referring back to that. But yeah, you won, which also brings me to another point. I have upon request asked you to start keeping track.
Yep.
Of these things. Where are the stats at before we talk about Letter Tycooning, what that game is?
Yeah. So for Bananagrams, the stats is Isaiah 1, Janet 0. But we also are keeping track when we play with other people.
Yeah.
And the one win I do have, and I'm not saying it's an asterisk win, it is a win. But the one win I do have, Edwin was playing with us as well. Obviously a different player in the game can affect how many towels everyone gets and things like that. So like, if Edwin wasn't there, who knows what could have happened. But again, a win is a win. I have a score between me and Janet.
For some people, a win is a win. For Isaiah, a win is a win if he decrees it.
Well, when it is a win, it's just sometimes a loss is not a win. That's just what it is. The score between us is Isaiah 1, Janet 0. And we'll see how long that lasts.
I'll literally play today if you want. But we have some other ones as well. Just I think Letter Tycoon's the only other one we have.
Yeah. So far, yeah.
So another thing I want to ask, I think, before moving on to Letter Tycoon is, so you finally won. Is victory as sweet as you thought it would be? That's question 1.
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no. It is cool. And this is something, this could be a topic. Remember the whole, I think it was like episode 1 when we were talking about like Final Fantasy, how like you want to feel sweet and like the sweetometer and the sweet, like winning Bananagrams is cool, but it doesn't feel sweet. I did a cool thing, but I don't feel sweet for it. Now, there are probably games where I'll both do something cool and feel sweet, but this win wasn't it.
I will say too, I was breathing on your neck in that game in Bananagrams.
I like double, triple checked my anagram to make sure that
he was
all
like
the
checking
words...
his anagram. I had literally one tile left to place, but it was like I forgot what tile it was. It was funky. I couldn't get it to, because I'm really good at just quickly turning over and at least comparatively to I guess like you. I haven't actually played like that many people in Bananagrams. Maybe I would get rocked by most people. Yeah, like it's kind of like when I played Smash Bros.
Grandmaster.
When I played Smash Bros. Melee as a kid, I thought I was like pretty good because like me and Edwin were really competitive, and I felt like the fights were like really intense. Yeah. But the truth is, we're just like equally matched. When we fought anyone that was like remotely good, just very like casually good, we got our ass whooped. It was like slacking. So it's like, oh, actually, I'm not good at this game. Like, not at all, but it's just like nothing. I'm very ordinary. Yes. So I would not be surprised if I was more on the ordinary side. But what I will say is I'm good at like quickly pivoting and manipulating the board, which is something that I think you've had to grow into. Like, I know, a lot of when I'm watching you across the table, you tend to, like when we first started playing, you would like be very committed to like what boards you had, and I never would see you like break apart and kind of rebuild very often. I assume you're kind of moving things around more. Again, I can only watch you so much because I'm also playing my anagram, but
to a degree, for sure. Honestly, I think playing more cue lists has helped more than anything.
Yeah.
Just because with cue lists, like there are strategical words that you can have as a foundation, but sometimes like you can't even have that, and you just have to be willing to just mix literally everything all up, like start over from scratch. Sometimes you also just need to like turn the orientation of the word you have. Like if you have it going horizontal, sometimes you just need to like see it vertical to see other words and other options you have. So like I think doing that has really helped my bananagram skill level improve.
Yeah, you know? I felt the improvement in the way you've been able to help me with cue lists. I was like, oh, okay, he's like learning the words.
Yeah, you know? Man, you got a cue, you gotta get that in the base, in the foundation. Don't go sitting that to the side. I really want to come back to it.
I need to get better at like J words. That's a big weakness for me.
Yeah, especially if they give you a J without like a U or something like to go with it. Yeah, it's really hard then.
Yeah, even Joust has a U. Yeah, so anyway, things to work on. I don't know how you really get better at that though. Do you just read the dictionary? I don't know if there's like a, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I guess I was like,
These narrative games I'm playing are really coming in handy.
I would love to get more into, and I know technically Merriam-Webster, the app and the website does this, but I want more of like a word of the day thing. Yeah. But I don't want a word of the day calendar because we don't really use a calendar. Like I would like us to figure out how to incorporate something like that. Even though it's funny because I forgot what came up the other day where I was like, oh, there's like this word, or I was like using a word or something. And I was thinking about how I'm like, wait, I don't want Isaiah to learn about this word because of our next game, which is Letter Tycoon.
Oh, man. I think we were watching Fryron, and it was a word that someone said, and you were like,
yeah, I never fully knew what it meant. Yeah. I forgot what the word was, but
it was like joyous day, or it was like about like, it was an adjective to like the celebration, the party they throw.
Yeah, it has to do with
year.
like an opportune moment, but I just can't remember the word. But yeah, now I feel like I don't want you to learn any more words.
Ocumus Day or something like that. Something.
Nah.
Yeah.
If I remember it, I'll mention it. But yeah, because of Letter Tycoon, I don't want you to learn any more words ever again. I guess I'll try to explain this one since you explained bananagrams.
Yeah.
Letter Tycoon, what's their cute little thing is build your alphabet empire.
Hell yeah.
This is, and I believe the art was done local is what the board game shop. We got this from a local shop in the Valley called, is it just called Geeky Teen Games?
Geeky Teen Games, yeah.
Yeah, they're a really cool board game shop. I feel like everyone who lives in the Valley or maybe even in LA who's like a nerd knows this story. Because when I like mention it, like I'll go to like Pixel Circus stuff and they were like, oh, like everyone, like, is the spot, you know what I mean? Like, is the spot. Let me know in the comments if there's any other, key board game things in LA. Obviously, that's the one that's closest to us because we live in the Valley. But yeah, it's a really cool store. There's got a new location. It's really big. And we went there mostly to kill time. We were going to the library that day, and it turns out it was like a Sunday or something. They just opened like way later than we thought. So we're like, how do we kill time? And I'm like, okay, we can go to like the thrift store. And I bought like one shirt for like $6. And I was like, okay, I don't want to spend too much money while killing time. But it's hard to kill time and not spend money when you're not going to the library. Like the library is one of the best time killers for free. So we went to the board game store and saw this, did the classic hold and walk around. And I felt very like vindicated by this trip because I got to get a word game that you bought. I didn't have to pay for it. So I feel like a little kid who was like, even though you actually were the one that picked it up, but I'm just like, ooh, can we get this? Yay! I was very excited. Okay, so Letter Tycoon is a game where you you have a set of cards at any like given time, and those cards are letters, and you are building words. With the words, you gain, is it points or is it money?
There's like milestones in the length of the word you build where it's like, oh, if you build a word that's 3 letters long, you get like $1. If you build a 4-letter word, you get $2. And
if it's like really big, you also can gain stocks.
Yeah, which are like victory points at the end of the game.
Yeah, and the money also goes into victory points essentially. But the money can also be used to buy things, which I'll get to next. So you're doing that, but you can also buy patents on letters.
Yeah.
And the patents mean that when, if I have the patent on A, whenever anyone plays an A, I get little
get a
kickback. You know,
Yeah.
I get a little bit of money off that, making some coin. You can't put down an A, and that's why it's Letter Tycoon. You can't put down an A in this town without me getting a piece. But what's also really like wild about this game is some of the patents, like some of the letters that you can purchase, have like abilities. So like I know one of them has like you can add an S to any word you build automatically, but the letter's not S, it's like some others. It's like it's usually the letters that are like less useful, like with, like Z and Y and stuff like that. So that's a part of the game as well. And then that's basically the flow of the game, and you're looking to get the most victory points essentially when you like finish, which is you adding up the money you have, the patents you have, and the stocks you have. And the game ends when someone has a certain amount of patents, I believe.
Yeah, it's when your like the value of your patents crosses some threshold that grows with, or that changes with the amount of players.
Yeah. So we've played, I think, 2 times. Once you, me, and Edwin, and then once just you and me, which back-to-back days. So I'm like, I'm glad that you. Well, I'm glad you like this game because I'm glad that you like letter games. But I will say, Isaiah has always won. Because it's also a numbers game, so it's like
it is not a raw.
Which again,
game.
if I only played games that Isaiah, actually, if I only played games that Isaiah won, I'd still play most games. But it's like if I won all these games, we'd play less games. So I'm okay with however it shakes out.
Isn't that true?
Yeah, we'll see how much BANANAGRAMS we get into this year. But it's a really cool game, and it took me a while. In the first game, I was still kind of getting to know like what the strategy was. And by the second game, I was like, okay, you really got to be like buying a lot of these patents like left and right, because you need to build like momentum, but you also need to have like the restraint of, because some of the patents cost more money, like different letters are worth more money. So yeah, like that's why it's the value of the patents and not the number of patents. It's like, oh yeah, if your patents are like $30 worth or something, which you can get to faster if you have like patents that are like $7 versus some patents are like $1, you know? But yeah, it's interesting. And another thing I think I forgot to mention was when you're building your words, it's not just the cards in your hand. There's also like kind of a community pool of 3 letters. So you can also like pull from that, which you can do like really strategically, because if you want to spell like, you know, apple or something, but there's an A in the community pool, you can use the A from the community pool. That way you can keep your own A. It's also kind of nice, especially when you play like just 2 people, it kind of like you have less time to like plan, because it's like the turnaround's really fast. So it's like if you take from that community pool, it's like sometimes that person's like, oh, the what I was gonna make is gone, and then they have to pivot. So I think that's kind of fun, as well as like part of the strategy. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think it's a cool combo of being a word game and a numbers game, because it is still like you need to know how to put down words, and there's that whole thing about the challenging too in the game.
Yeah, where it's like you spell a word, you know, Janet spells apple, and I'm like, whoa, I ain't never heard of that word before. What is this?
It's his first down to earth.
Yeah, I can challenge Janet and be like, nah, let's look this up. Let's look at this apple, whatever this word is. And if it turns out apple isn't a real word, right? It's not in Merriam-Webster's dictionary, which is like the guidelines that we go by. Then if I can afford it, I have to pay Janet $1. If I can't afford it, Janet still gets $1 from the like bank.
And that's if it turns out apple is a real word. Now, if I actually spelled apple wrong, I spelled it with 3 P's, you know, that also avoids the word. Then Isaiah doesn't get anything, which I kind of do wish you got something. Isaiah doesn't get anything, but what happens is I lose my turn. I have to return like my cards to my hand and then just like pass. So yeah, and that's been fun because I think it's what kind of makes Letter Tycoon different than a lot of other games. Obviously, you can play games also however you want. Like, I'm sure some people for BANANAGRAMS, they don't let you use the dictionary to check anything. I'm personally, we play like with it. You can just use the dictionary as much as you want, which I think is fine and fair to me. I don't feel like BANANAGRAMS is a game that should be about how good you inherently are at spelling. Especially when it like the whole thing is, I feel like that discourages you from like trying more interesting words if you like don't have the ability to check it without fearing ruining your game, because that's so much of the game is around structuring these anagrams. But in Letter Tycoon, it's kind of fun because it's like a little bit almost like a gambly layer of, ooh, do I really know how to spell, like, I don't know, apprentice? Even though you might not be able to spell that with the amount of cards and stuff you have. Like you got caught up in sous vide.
Sous vide, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you spelled it slightly wrong. You had like an extra S or something.
I was missing an S.
Okay, yeah.
I was missing a second S.
And I did not know how to spell sous vide, but I'm like, I don't think he knows how to spell it either. And I also was like, is this even in the dictionary?
Yeah.
That also was unsure of. Turns out it was in the dictionary, but you spelled it slightly wrong. So I was like, yeah. And you got me on a word too, but I forgot what the word was. It was something that was like kind of slang. It was really funny. I wish pissy. I remembered it. Pissy, yeah. I wrote down pissy, and they don't have pissy in there. They have piss, but not pissy. Which I'm still kind of upset by. Merriam-Webster.
Those are the rules.
Get with the times.
They don't want Max content. That's
why. No, I mean, I really thought that would be a word. Yeah. So it's been fun. Our last game was very close.
Yeah.
As most of my heartbreakers against Isaiah are, where he's like, you're right there. I'm like, damn. And I felt like I was doing so well. So it's like, if I didn't get it here, like, what does this mean?
And also, I think what's funny is I think both times we played twice. One, like you said, one with Edwin, one without. I think both times you were the person who like ended the game in like your patents, kind of thing. So it was just like. I feel like I won by the skin of my teeth. Like, at least that second game for sure. The first game
you won by a lot.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a learning game, exactly, so I wasn't that like.
Which makes me worry. Like the first game, it was a bigger gap. Yeah. Second game, much smaller gap. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with the third game.
I think when we sat down to play that second game, I said, "Now that I know how to play, it's over for you." Like, but yeah, I think this is a really fun game. What's the player? 2 to 5 players. So a really good time, good size. Yeah, it's fun. It's real fun. It is one of those games that reading the instructions is a more complex reading than just like learning to play. And I know that I even said that weird, but it's like a hard to learn the instructions, easy to pick up and learn kind of game. Yeah. So if you do get it, maybe check out just like a video tutorial, like a 5-minute one, probably be real quick, send you right through it and then get you up and running with the game. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Something that's always been interesting to me is this is like tangentially related, but I was looking up Letter Tycoon to see like other descriptors of it or how people talk about it or whatever. And you're familiar with the website boardgamegeek.com, mm-hmm. Yes? It's like is it like the Metacritic of like board games? Like what's the situation? Kind of, yeah. I've never actually looked into what they are. I just like they're first search whenever you search about anything. So it's a little bit like backlogged as well, and I'm always so with this. I'm always so surprised by like things that like I know games really well, and I've like been in the lane of reviewing and critiquing and scoring games, and I know that really well. I don't know scores on everything else, and it's like I was like Letter Tycoon has a 6.8, and that's not a horrible score, but I'm like I think it's really fun. Is it not that good? Which hey, if I'm having fun with a 6, give me the 9 because that might be, you know what I mean. But I'm always curious. Like I wouldn't know where to really begin on reviewing, I think, board games in a lot of ways. So it's a fascinating lane to be in. But yeah, it's a really cool one. So definitely recommend that for, I guess, people that are open to word games. And I think it is less wordy than like Bananagrams is, or a little wordy, and a bunch of these other like word games. It more uses words as like it's tycoon capitalist currency, thing. Like it's Yeah, and then I think it's also fun because it's like you could be petty and try like not to use the letters that your like competitor has patents on for a while, but then at a certain point it's just like fun. Whatever. Yeah, it's a good time. Letter Tycoon. To round up the game section, let's talk a little bit about the Xbox Developer Direct. Yeah, that was cool. We saw a bunch of different things. I'm just gonna read through them real quick. We got South of Midnight, which we got its release date, which is April 8th. We saw more on Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which is April 24th. Yeah, terrible name. It's really bad. We'll talk more about that in a second. Doom the Dark Ages is May 15th. Great name. Ninja Gaiden 4, that was the surprise of the show that they allude to, and that's going to be fall 2025. And a shout out to Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which was available at the time of the show. And then they also wrote in their official post on their website, like Xbox's website, that next up is going to be Avowed, which is Obsidian's upcoming fantasy RPG, which is coming out on February 18th. So I turn my eye to you, Isaiah, and I ask you the cursed question. Is this Xbox's year? The fabled Xbox year, which oddly enough doesn't include Fable in it, but
I think Xbox's years may be a little strong. I think this has potential to be like one of their better years, especially in like recent history for sure, right? Like just the fact that they have anything is...
And by Xbox's year, I don't mean they have to dominate the year, but they have a good year.
Yeah. I think there's definitely room for them to have a good year, right? I think of the games here, I think Doom the Dark Ages is the like breakaway biggest thing, even against like Avowed. Like I think Doom the Dark Ages is like, I don't know, unless they like sleeper announce that like new Gears or something for like a winter holiday release this year, I think Doom the Dark Ages is going to be probably their biggest game this year.
I agree. And I think they do too, because they listed it first.
Yeah.
And they have it first in the thing, even though it doesn't come out first, which I'm like, that tells me that they are like, we really want to make sure you see
for the people
Doom.
who are here and just checking this in, stay here. Yeah. And honestly, it looks good, right? Like I was a big Doom 2016 fan when they did that. Doom Eternal, I waned on a lot. I didn't like a lot of what they did with it versus like Doom 2016. But Doom the Dark Ages, now it seems like we're back, baby. All right, big robot, big punch, big slice. You got a shield with saw around the edge of it. You can throw it and bring it back. Oh yeah, hell yeah! I'm here to kill demons and look cool doing it. See, I think Doom the Dark Ages is a game that gives you, again, seemingly gives you a lot of stuff that like looks cool, but then also will make you feel sweet. Like I think that Doom 2016 is just feeling sweet, the game. They lost that a little bit with Doom Eternal for me, and then hopefully we're getting it back here.
What was it about Doom Eternal? Was it something with the traversal, or I never actually played it. I played 2016. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. It wasn't enough difference to like make it feel new and enticing. But it also wasn't the same enough that I was just like, oh, I'm happy just getting more of the same, like, you know, DLC expansion kind of thing. Like they changed it up enough without changing up anything, and it just felt weird for me. And I'm not the only one who felt that. Sorry, I'm not the only one who felt that. Like I know other people who also said that. Even like looking at the Dark Age kind of like information they were showing.
I don't think Doom Eternal is a funny game in that it scored way higher, I believe, than Doom 2016. But when you talk to people, they're like, it's kind of split on it. No one hates it, but everyone's it's kind of just like, oh, I didn't like it as much as 2016. Or some people are like, oh no, I liked it more than 2016. Like it's, you know, so that's basically the conversation. So what degree did you like it? Which is, I think, kind of still a good spot for the franchise to be in. I'm very excited for Doom the Dark Ages, which I think some people might be surprised to know, because I don't like shooters, but it's Doom. Doom is awesome. And also like, and you know, again, it's an exception in the genres I tend to play. Like I've been playing Doom since like old school Doom. Like I loved like that, like I don't know if it's like the first Doom, because again, they go back so far, but like, and they dropped them again, I think, on Switch at one point. I mean, that original Doom you can play on literally everything. Anything, but it's so cool. It's like definitely really tough because it's hard to find the just like original Doom. It's hard to find the keys. Yeah. And it's like a little It's not Metroidvania, but it's just like a little hard to just figure out where to go. But yeah, it's awesome. It's always been awesome. It's still awesome. Everyone has different tastes and stuff. I cannot wrap my head around not enjoying a game like this. It is such a core gameplay fun game. I can understand people maybe not having a high reverence for it, but this just feels like Doom is really the console version of when you go to an arcade and you're like playing something and you're like, it's a good time. You got your light gun. It's like, what if you had that experience at home? That's how Doom feels. The demon design has always been really cool. Like I've always liked the, you know, back in the day when they had the UI bit and the guy got like bloodier and stuff. And it's like, this is just like, it's just a good time to be the Slayer. And it's like, they just do they do also like gore so well and so fun.
Without like being
nasty.
too real with it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's cartoony, it's arcadey gore, which is like for me a nice lighter side to like a horror game gore, you know what I mean?
I think it's because they're all like monsters. They're demons. So it's like, oh, well, you can kill. You don't got to, worry about killing demons. They're demons. Like, there's no morality here. Like, you kill the demons. You're the slayer. Yeah, I love Doom. And I think even going back to that original design, I think the design is also really like nicely done. Like, it's not just a walk through. It is like walk through and kill everybody kind of thing. But like, there's a little bit more going on in traversing the areas, gaining things, especially in like the original, like with how it did its design. So, it's just gonna be a good time. I'm excited.
Before we move on from Doom, talking about the original Doom, did you see they got it working in like a PDF?
Yeah, I just see that.
I'm like, what is going on? That's insane.
Yeah,
I love that this is where my two worlds collide, where it's like tech and gaming. I love that just the challenge of, can we get Doom running on it? Can it run Doom is like a thing. It just makes me so happy every time I see a new
Nintendo's like,
Tamagotchi or something.
Yeah. I like the you saw the one with the woman who put Doom on her earrings?
No.
Okay,
what?
yeah. It's like a Game Boy. Like she has like these little Game Boy earrings.
Oh, okay.
And it's like running Doom, but they were originally literally just like shells. Like I think she like built the whole like
it's not like an Arduino or something in there, and
they were let's see, originally from these like little, I guess like these are things that maybe you can make and program on. They're called thummies, the tiny playable programmable keychain.
Okay.
That I'm guessing she got. It looks like you can buy them for like $30 a piece. And then got like Doom on there, and then like made them into earrings.
That's so funny.
I'm pulling up which you could always add in post or whatever to show people on the video version.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
And it's I think it might be the smallest way to play Doom.
Challenge accepted. There's gonna be someone who has like, I don't know. Actually, that is actually pretty small. I don't know how you can't get much smaller than that, but somebody will. All right. Somebody will. Cool.
Yeah, small electronics are really cool. I saw like I think I'm gonna start like dipping into my YouTube algorithm and just watching the random stuff they feed me, because like one of the things is like, I think like small like tech that changed my life or whatever. I'm like, okay, I just want to see what people getting into, what are people doing, and then soon I'll learn like all the secrets of your world and then report back to you. Like when you got like when I I had a test flight on my phone, I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit of a developer myself. Okay, let's just Ninja Gaiden. You care? Do you not care? You've never played Ninja Gaiden, right?
I've never played a Ninja Gaiden. I don't even think I've played a Platinum Games game before.
Yeah.
I'm interested in trying it, but I want to try it the same way I like want to try a weird pizza, where it's like, I don't think I'm gonna like it, but I want to try it because I feel like it'd be at least interesting and different. And like, maybe not for me, but I can see why people would like it.
Yeah, I'm open to it. It looked cool, but it also made me remember / realize like I really don't play action games. I've played almost no action games in my whole life. Yeah. Like name an action game and that I've played. I don't think I really have. I played a lot of action and adventure.
Have you done like the old God of Wars?
Yeah.
Wait,
so I guess that's it. But I feel like it's more of like
Cries?
No.
Okay.
Because I feel like old God of Wars, it is an action game. It's more like a beat 'em up.
No, those are action games.
Kind of vibe, I guess. Yeah.
You got move sets, kind of. Yeah.
I guess
it's
so.
not as like tactical as like a Devil May Cry or something else, but
well, I will say Wikipedia, not that calls God of War, OG God of War, an action adventure game.
I mean, sure.
Because I just feel like you are.
What do they call Ninja Gaiden? They probably call that action. I don't know of a singular action game. You know what I mean? Like,
let's find out what Wikipedia says. I feel like Nier and stuff is an action game.
Those are like action RPGs.
Boom! They call Ninja Gaiden an action game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird.
But do you level up in Nier?
I never played Nier.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't actually know if it has like. I don't actually know if it has.
I think
an
you
RPG
do level up.
System
I have to
in
imagine.
Though leveling up is not enough to make it necessarily an RPG either. But yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, Okay, they do call it, at least Wikipedia calls it an action role-playing game. So I guess it does have like RPG elements in Nier. But, like move set specific, so, like I just haven't really played, again, because God of War, like OG God of War, I think that's very much like, I can see why someone calls it more action adventure, because you're not really like, did I play an action game or did I hit square a lot? And I know the difference is not that different, but I do think you're a little bit more, squaring up in an action game. And things are a little zippier than God of War. God of War can zip a bit, but he's more like whipping than zipping.
that is a very weird way to put it, but very accurate.
Yeah. So I actually don't really know that I've played really any action games, because then I look at a lot of the big ones and I'm like, I never got to any of those. Maybe I don't really play that genre. So that'll have to be a gap that I explore. At least.
What about your girl on the Nintendo, the sexy librarian girl? Bayonetta. Yeah, there you go.
I've never played a Bayonetta game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played that Bayonetta spinoff that me and Ben liked that we never finished. The like, I don't know, Cerebus something. One? Yeah, it was cool, but it was like a puzzle game. It was like a different genre too. So
That's so funny.
I've wanted to play Bayonetta for forever, but not enough to actually do it.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of like, the way I feel about those games are the way people feel about like things you want to do, but then you don't want to do it. It's like, oh yeah, but I want to try that out. We could go today. Ooh, today?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to go today. I do want to go though. Yeah. It's like, the truth is, you don't really want to go that bad is the thing. And that's kind of how I feel with like Bayonetta. It's like, yeah. Put me down. Save some for me later,
I'll take mine home.
Yeah. I'm going to eat mine in the bathroom. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Ninja Gaiden look cool. So, we'll see what's up with that.
If it's on, it'll be on Game Pass. Maybe I'll pick it up and try it just to see what the hype is about. And because people love Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Like, I know, granted, it's a small pool of people, but they...
2 Black is ready now.
Yeah, I heard.
You don't really want to go. You don't really want to go. That's the truth. South of Midnight.
This is the like
the Bayou Spider-Verse animation
power
vibes.
Yeah. It's Princess and the Frog meets Kenna Bridge of Spirits. And I'm like, you know what? All right, that kind of sounds good. I'm interested.
Does it sound good to you? Because I feel like I'm more interested in this game than you are.
I think you're more interested. I don't like the aesthetic is weird. Like that. Again, they do that like weird cell shaded comic book animating on twos kind of thing. Like Spider-Verse and Spider-Man is Spider-Verse. And to me, that just makes it look like it's not performing well. Like it makes it look like the game is like jittery and stuttery and like broken. I don't get that like, oh, this is just cool aesthetic. I think given time, I'm sure I can just like adjust to that and like get used to it or ignore it or whatever. And have a good time from there. It's just like that is the thing that really stands out to me when I watch trailers and stuff for it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna feel better than it looks. Not that it looks bad, but I agree that like that animation style doesn't. I think that here's the thing, and because I don't know for sure that it's like literally like done exactly the way like Spider-Verse is, but I know that's kind of like in that like off, like intentionally kind of chopped up for parts. But I think what was cool about like Spider-Verse is I didn't really like notice those things happening when I watched Spider-Verse. Like I knew it because I know it because I know it, but I didn't like clock it as easily. And here it feels like a little bit more clockable in a way that feels a little stuttery. Like I wish I noticed it less and was just like, oh man, why does it look cool? It looks cool because it's animated in this way. Where like for Spider-Verse, and again, I know people that know animation more are probably like, I immediately knew that they were framing on the whatever. But for Spider-Verse, it's like, wow, this looks really cool. And they're like, did you know that it's actually animated differently? Whoa. And that was kind of the thing.
I think the thing is that it's something that the only time we really see this in games is when it's not done intentionally. It's like, again, done for poor performance reasons. Whereas like, they're going for it in an intentional sense, and it's just like my mind needs to like recalibrate.
And I think there were times where it looks cooler than others. Like I'm looking back at the trailer and like when the big what is he? He's like a catfish. When the catfish is talking, I think it looks pretty cool. But then when it cuts to certain action things, it does look a little less cool at times. But I'm cautiously optimistic about South of Midnight.
Same.
I I think I've always been pretty more on the optimistic side. I think the world looks interesting. I think the powers look cool. My biggest concern with South of Midnight is I think the design might be kind of dry. And that's why like my current calling it now thing is this is going to be the new Kena Bridge of Spirits, because Kena was really cool. And it's like, I wish it got more love. And I really like that game. But at the same time, it is very like nostalgic. Like it feels like a really cool PS2 game.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, but also it makes it hard to say that it's an exceptional game in the modern era because it is so like of the past.
Sure.
But also I feel like we don't get as many games like that in general. So maybe, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a negative or not like as forward moving in the design. But yeah, that's why. But I grew up loving those kinds of games. Like that's kind of like my bread and butter. So yeah, I'm excited about this one and lightly afraid. But I don't think it's gonna be. I feel like I don't want to say there's no way it's gonna be bad, but like I'd be surprised if it was like kind of bad. A little bit, because I think it has a lot of cool ideas, and like the more I look at it, the more interesting it seems. But at the same time, like I've stood and cheered for many a game that turned out didn't work out. So you always gotta dial it in a little bit. But yeah, South of Midnight I think looks cool. And then the last one that we could touch on here is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. This year's Metaphor Fantasio, baby. It's got a stupid name, and it's a turn-based RPG that has light real-time mechanics. You cannot make an RPG that doesn't have a dumbass name, I guess is the thing. So you know what? Take your bad name.
Yeah. No,
bad name, good game?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's an award you guys got to give out.
We could do that. We could add that to our thing. Bad name, good game. And it's the best game of all the games with a bad name. It's the best of those. Yeah, we can do that. I've been wanting to do that for some time. It's time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's time.
Hell yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
No, this game honestly looks really interesting. Like it's hard to say I'm more excited for this than like Doom.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is more interesting than Doom.
Yeah. Same.
You know what I mean? Like they showed some of the characters, that this world has like a charm. It's got a vibe to it. You'll have this like
legally
cast
distinct
of
Baymax.
Legally distinct Baymax. Yeah. Your
French
cast of characters.
French Baymax.
Your characters all have like cool personalities, it seems, and like this is like weird overworld map thing that they were talking about that actually kind of looks cool. It looks a little like I heard someone else say too, like Tiny Tina's Wonderland a little bit, but like aesthetically better in that like it's like just a little bit higher res, and again Tiny Tina's that cell shaded stuff. I'm like, you know what, it's about time I start getting ready for this year's RPGs. I'm down for this to be the first one. Yeah,
I'm really excited about this one. I literally copy paste what you said, because I think I said that on my stream yesterday, like almost word for word, where like the game that if I could play any game right now, it would be Claire Obscure, because it's the most interesting looking one and I'm excited for it. But technically, like I'm also really excited for that Doom game.
Yeah.
But like Doom is such like a basic answer. Yeah. So it's like, and also I am still just not like a full on stan versus like, I don't know if Horizon. I was talking about Xbox, so Horizon is not an Xbox game. But like, if Horizon 3 was coming out, like that could be. I could be like, it's basic, but I'm gonna pick that because I love it. But honestly, even against like, as much as I love Horizon, I think I'm still more interested in this Claire Obscure game, because it's like I know who Horizon is, and if it's like, even though I'm using it as a fake example, there's no Horizon 3 coming out this year, but it's like I think I'm always just more drawn to. I'm interested. Like it looks good, and I haven't like dug into it. Also new IP as well.
Yeah.
Which I think that is something that's really cool from this direct. It's literally split in new and old IP, which I think is a great place to be at. People have pointed out that the one time that Xbox is finally getting there, like I think we finally lined up all the dominoes, is now when they're also going third party for a lot of their stuff. Yeah. But hey, whatever gets you the shmoney to keep making some games.
Yeah, man. It's all first party now.
Whatever. And I think of these are any of them exclusive?
South of Midnight is exclusive. Doom is not. I don't believe Ninja Gaiden is, and I don't know about Expedition 33.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say it is.
I think
would
it is
they're-
third party. Like I think it's going like to everything.
Okay.
PS5 is listed on here, so
great, even better.
The platinum.
I can play. Yeah, I can play it on my PlayStation. Great.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit PlayStation pilled just for the trophies and the I don't know, the vibes of the controller and everything. And admittedly, I just have a deeper history with PlayStation. Like, I've had a PlayStation since the PS2. Yeah, but I do think a couple. It doesn't take a lot to get me because I'm in games. It doesn't take a lot to get me to buy your console. So I'm like, hey, if we can get a couple of these exclusives on the in the rafters for Xbox, then assuming that they still make a box, which is still a little. I think they'll make it. I think they will make at least one other box. I don't know about two other boxes. I'm not sure.
Say at least two other ones.
I hope so. I love consoles, so.
Yeah.
I hope to see them still doing hardware and stuff. But getting some reasons to boot. The box is back. The box is back. I booted up Lonely Mountain Snow Riders yesterday.
Yeah.
Which granted also on Steam. But where did I play it? I coached both.
Yeah. And you chose to play it on Xbox.
And then I was like, do I want to restart this on Steam? Because I do like my Steam Deck, but I'm like, I do like big box.
Yeah.
I'm in the pocket of big box. What can I say? Yeah. Cool. I guess before we close out with the Xbox stuff, feelings on Avowed. We haven't talked about Avowed. I'm surprised they didn't actually really talk about it, except in their post they did. But
remind me again, what was Obsidian's last RPG?
The Outer Worlds.
Who's doing the Outer Worlds too? Are they also doing the Outer Worlds too? Jeez. All right. They are the Insomniac of Xbox's umbrella, I guess.
Let's not get wild there. Okay. Insomniac's putting out some really good.
As far as like workload, you know what I mean? They're pumping out these games.
Yeah, sure.
I am not interested in Avowed, but I may become interested. I haven't seen anything of it. Like the only stuff I've seen is that I know you, I think, had some hands-on time with it.
Yeah, obviously you read my article and memorized it.
Exactly. And I think I saw some other people
famously
online.
titled "Avowed Feels Ordinary." I think I had
the
most negative preview of it. I was looking around and I'm like, did anyone else think this wasn't that good? And everyone's like, it looked awesome, and I'm like, well, this is a little awkward.
Hey man, looking awesome and feeling good are very different things.
There's since been another preview cycle that has also gone. I did not partake in that one, but I know other people did. Like Patrick played during that time or whatever.
So. I don't know if it comes out and people are like, oh no, actually this is John Blaze. It could be the February game to play, it could also come out and no one says anything. And then we are still just waiting for, South of Midnight. So I don't know. I'm not excited for it. I'm not necessarily interested in it, but I also haven't heard or seen much. Like the things I've heard have been fine. Right,
sure.
Like you said, your preview, a couple things here and there. I liked Outer Worlds. When that comes out, I'm excited for that. I'll definitely play that. But yeah, I don't know.
I like the Outer Worlds as well, but I didn't finish it, so it's like, you know what I mean?
Fair.
Which doesn't always mean that the game wasn't good enough to finish, but sometimes it kind of. I don't know. It was cool. I'm like an Outer Worlds defender. I know a lot of people were kind of looking at it like. Yeah, the big moon face. Like, I don't know. I like the cysty pigs, the pigs that had like little cysts, and then you like get the bacon from it. It had some cute like Fallout energy to it. Avowed. I am playing out of morbid curiosity. Sounds very negative, but it is kind of morbid curiosity. Like I have not. I considered not even. I'm like, maybe I don't need to play Avowed. Maybe I could just wait for other people to say if it's good or not, and then I can like swing in and play it. I'm like, you know what? I think I'll dip into it a little bit if given the opportunity in the lead up to it. That would be really cool, just to see what's up when everything comes together. But yeah, I was not impressed by what I had played. But it is one of the like earlier big games. But it comes on the same date as Lost Records Blue and Rage, a game I'm actually very excited to play. So we'll see. It'll just depend on, I think, if I get to dig into it before it's out. So that would make it a lot easier to check it out. But yeah, I'll be looking at it. I'm not excited for it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for all these other games. But also, I played that game and I didn't play the other game, so it's like I'm a little scared. But I don't know. I think there's enough great stuff here that it's going to be a good time, and I'm glad to see Xbox finally having some stuff on its calendar. I know it's like the big, you know, Nintendo's big Switch 2 time, but hey, not yet. Not, you know, and they're hitting the spring. Nintendo's rumored for summer. You can still get your season, you know?
To be honest, I'm very curious what Xbox is going to be showing off in the summer now. You know?
Ooh, I don't know.
Come June, like I think
they're sitting by the pool with South of Midnight and Claire and Doom Guy and Ninja Gaiden Man.
Ryu, right? I'm curious to see, like, you know, come Summer Games Fest or any of these like other showcases and stuff. Like, what are we gonna see from Xbox then? Because
hands-on with Ninja Gaiden is like a easy SGF thing if they wanted to do that. Obviously, I don't know.
Yeah,
if they
that's
will.
true. That's not coming out till fall, so they have that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
They could use a big, like, no offense to Ninja Gaiden 4, but it doesn't really scream big fall game to me.
No.
And they also announced it already, so it's kind of like, I don't know if they're gonna have a big splash. You know, maybe support for existing game. Maybe they do like a Doom DLC thing. I think there already is, like,
I can see that
on the I know they have like the collector's edition up or whatever for it, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. For now though, I think they did a good start.
Yeah. No, the first half of the year, I got no complaints.
It's like cool, and we got like a nice slate, you know?
Yep.
Everybody else
Variety.
could use your slate. What's going on? I know everyone's afraid of GTA 6, but you gotta walk out at some point. And I think the timing feels very smart because I don't know when GTA 6 is coming out, but I'm guessing it's going to be fall. You know, big fall game.
If this year.
Yeah, if this year.
Assuming.
So it's like, okay, they get a lot of their dope stuff out in that springtime. It's not dead time, but it's not like, it's like before SGF. Like this seems like a good, like, cool.
Yeah.
We're filling up the calendar with some interesting games. Love the diversity of genre. Again, I like the new versus the old. Yay.
Yep.
Like, I think the only thing I could want more from Xbox is like a little bit more of like an indie thing. I think I've seen like one or two indies here would have really been like, wow, like, you know. But they always limit the amount of titles they have in these directs. So
no, that makes sense.
All right. Let us know, you know, in the comments and on social what y'all are excited to play from the Xbox Developer Direct, and we will reappear at one point with actual thoughts on these games.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Now we're very excited to see if the energy carries through. If we're like, play these, you know, is this half my top 10? It could be.
It could be.
Which is actually like that's pretty wild. It might be ready now. Who knows? And now for not games, let's talk apartment reorg, the famous apartment reorg. We're also getting into some office hours scheduling stuff as well. But going into the new year, I had a dream. I had a vision. I had a vision.
Can't wait to hear this.
I wanted to chase the ultimate life with you as for our family of two, which is you, me, Bruce, 3, you know, so many people, so many animals. I am constantly like, cool, we have a little place, how to be better, but also not even just how to be better. I do think we have, in my perspective, continually struggled with clutter, and the struggle for enough space, which I know sounds like a little silly because we do have the amount of people we are, which is 2 people and a cat. We have a good amount of space in terms of, I think, square footage, rooms. You know, we have 2 rooms, each have our own bathroom. Yeah. And yet, it's tough. It's tough out here.
Tougher for some of us than others, but it is
really
tough. But it's still tough.
Wow. I'm sorry. Only one of us has their high school trigonometry notes.
That is true. It's my little sentimental vibe. I can't have a little sentimental.
No, you can have, but I think if we start to you know, you don't want it with Hove. As we start to look around,
I definitely want it. I'll take this fight.
More stuff.
Yeah,
but you have more stuff than you think you have.
I probably do, but I'm also, I think, more willing and able to get rid of my stuff.
All right. Well, whenever that day comes, that'll be a great day for this house because. Yeah, you know.
Make more room for your garbage.
Here, I thought we were. I'm sorry. You have so many Squishmallows. When I was like, hey, what do you think about us donating some of the Squishmallows we don't have? One of us was sad, and one of us was mentioning that we should donate them.
They are comfortable things to lay on. All right. I don't care about them for sentimental reasons. If we could replace them with something else, that'd be great.
Look. Here, I thought we were going to come, you know, together as a united front. You know, I'm trying to make life better for us, and you're like, how are you making it work? Okay,
apartment reorg.
The apartment reorg, yeah. I had no idea that you'd be coming for me. You know, and I have some of my dumb things. I'm not gonna lie. I shouldn't have got the Pac-Man machine. But what's done is done. You know,
when was the last time you played that thing?
Maybe like a month or two ago.
Okay, I was gonna ask, did you done it in the new year?
In the new year, I think I have actually. I think I might. I think I might have. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Right. Yes, but I think I have. But no, I don't play very much. I shouldn't have gotten it. But you know what? You know,
hey, for every Pac-Man machine, I got my 3D printer.
You have your 3D printer, yes. So. We have stuff that we like. Yeah. At some point, we liked the things that we acquired or needed the things we acquired. But it's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
And I think, again, we have a lot of just things that take a lot. Like our hobbies are very space intensive things, you know? The gaming stuff. We have 2 TVs in the living room. We have 2 PlayStation 5s. We have 2 Xbox this generation consoles. We have 2 Switches.
Yeah.
We have a PSVR headset. We have an Oculus that's in the storage thing. We have the 3D printer, the Pac-Man machine, my piano, the board game table. Like we just, you know,
yeah.
Bruce's cat tree. Like you start filling up some of the non-negotiables, and there's a lot of non-negotiables that are big.
Yeah.
Is the thing. A lot of books that we've never read, you know, that I'm like, maybe we should just eat these away. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, you know, it's the space fills up quick in our apartment. And then, you know, we have some of the more normal challenges that other people have, which is that we have one closet that we share. We've kind of like gotten the separate sets of drawers, but then the drawers need a place to go and they don't both fit in the closet. So then, you know, things start to add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And the bed, we have the other standing desk where it's like we consolidate one. So it is tough. Yeah. And I think the thing that I really wanted to work on going to the new year was making the room not full of. I felt like I was surrounded by garbage because in gutting the studio, all the like, you
stuff
know,
that was in that
decor
room.
stuff. Yeah, we have a lot of like gaming things, like paraphernalia, basically. You know, like plushies or little figurines, and we've since like decided we're definitely going to keep those things. They're fun things to decorate the studio with, and that's kind of where they live. But then we, you know, so I was dealing with all that stuff, and moved around a bunch of things. And then with the living room, the goal was less like kind of like corridors. Like the kitchen is always so tough because we have like a classic open concept, which back in the day when open concept first hit the scene, it was like, yeah, why is everything not open? Open's great. And open's okay. Like the thing with open is that it means that nothing has its own space. So
yeah,
we have like the setup of our apartment. It's like you walk in and you're in the living room and you look to your left and there's the kitchen. And like the kitchen's non-movable in the sense that like the fridge and the cabinets are like in there. So then we naturally just put the dining table in there, and then it's like kind of the living room sort of is like an L shape. Like the things that are living room vibes are like in an L almost. It's like you have a big area, but then there's also like the board game shelf and like Bruce's things. Ultimately, I guess, how did you, so I finished the reorg. I got to a stopping point in the reorg. I wouldn't say I finished it. I got to a stopping point. Thoughts on what we have now? Go.
Yeah. So, just kind of going through the apartment, right? It's like you hit the living room first. It is
actually hit the bedroom first.
Well, I'm saying like when you're going.
When you go in. Okay, sorry.
You enter the apartment. Living room. I really love the new like openness that we have now that we moved the dining / board game table to kind of like against the window.
Yeah.
And so like now near the, you know, stove and fridge and sink and everything is like just kind of like open space for you to like walk around. You could do like your little stretches in the morning or like some, maybe I'll do some Apple Fitness workouts or something like that. Like that we have space. VR, we've used it already for some like the PSVR stuff. That's really nice to have. But there is a noticeable con to the table's placement now, where it feels, and our dining room table, our dining board game, I'm just gonna call it dining room table from now.
Sure.
Our dining room table always had the like unfortunate role of being like a dumping ground. Even regardless of where it is, it's just like oh, you come in, there's a seat, you can throw your jacket on it. There's a chair, you throw your bag in there, and then I grabbed the mail while I was coming in, I just toss it on top, and I.
Which
go
also, we
about
do
my
have
day.
a mail slotty magazine thing.
We do have that.
That's where the mail could go. But we'll continue.
It can.
Keep painting the picture. Because
Yeah. And the movement of the table has just brought that closer to the entryway. It has not removed it being the dumping ground. It's just now a dumping ground closer to the door. But it's also still our table. And we've also lost some seats in that. Before it was in kind of like the center of the room where you could sit on all four sides of the table. Mm-hmm. Now you can only really sit on three because one is against the wall. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, all right, well, if this bag is taking up this chair and then the mail is taking up this spot and then Bruce is sitting in this chair, there's only one chair left for us to sit in now. Like there's something there that I think we can still revisit and work on. Besides that, though, we have the double TV living room. Still love that. We got our little lights, little smart lights behind the TV that's mounted. So like when we're watching like Severance or playing a game or something, we can turn off the lights and get really engrossed in like the movie and everything. That's always great. I even also really like the couch positioning. We did the thing where we took like one of the Calyx shelves that was vertical and had like, stuff in it, books, games, whatever. We laid it horizontal and then put it behind the couch. Mm-hmm. More for like decorative and to sort of like lighten up the wall and like just how much stuff was against the wall and everything. And I really like that. I think that's worked out pretty well. It's a nice place where we can keep our keys, and we have a new basket for like the lost and found, basically, where
the lost and lazy is what I call it.
Yeah, where if you just find something around the house, you don't know necessarily where it goes, but it's important. You could just put it in this basket, and then if you're looking for something lost in the house, check the basket first.
So I think
it goes there.
I think, well, this is have you completed your painting of the living room?
I've completed my painting of the living kitchen room.
Okay, so I would like to step in and add to that. Yeah, I definitely think the board game table, it's not perfect. I do think it's generally, or the dining table is simpler to call it. It is generally a step up, because one of the big challenges we have is, and I guess it's kind of like where we find ourselves, because again, we do have a lot of square footage, but again, the studio is a studio, and we're kind of keeping that pure as just a studio. It's not a place for anything but studio things. Mm-hmm. So then that really just brings us back down to the one, the bedroom and the living room, kitchen for stuff. Not having any form of like storage built into this apartment is really where
is terrible.
We get our ass beat. It's beat ass time, because that's like one of the big things that's making the dining table feel even tighter than it already is. Because now we've kind of created like, we're trying to eliminate how much tightness we have when maneuvering around the apartment. Mm-hmm. And while we freed up, the kitchen's like kind of, it's not perfectly great, but it's pretty good. It would be better if we would be able to move like the couch that we have behind the table more towards, just to create more of a walkway from like the kitchen to the hallway. Anyway, it's kind of hard to visualize it, so I don't want to get too specific, but it's like we can maneuver around. It's like I can being able to walk to the fridge directly at any point is like really cool. And we didn't have that before because the dining table was basically in front of the fridge, so you'd always have to loop around
someone
in or even if you were looping around someone, you have to mouse your way in, because it's like you're either gonna hug the counter to get to the fridge, or you go around like the back of the couch. Like there's no direct line where you could go. That's really cool. But the big pains we have, if anyone has any solutions or ideas to these things, let us know.
Ears.
The shoes. We have like a shoe rack, but it's a horizontal shoe rack. I think if we could somehow have like a vertical shoe rack, that would probably be a big help. But then I don't know where that would go as a thing. Maybe on
the back of the door. I know they have like some.
I know,
like
but I don't think they.
things.
I don't think our door is like one of those doors where you can have have something
like
on
a
the
hook.
Unless you put mount it, because it doesn't have like a gap where you can. It's not like a. Which actually, all of our doors have that thing where you cannot some people buy those things where you can like you don't have to even mount anything. You just kind of latch it onto the top of the door. There's not enough space
between
in any door to have that. In any of our room, in any room in the house.
There's got to be some solution we can find for that.
Yeah, so that's definitely a big pain point that we have. And yeah, the jackets and stuff, we really just have to kind of, I think, decide like that I think we could though put a hook on the door if we wanted to, on our like proper door, like the entryway door, and that would be okay. And maybe we should do that and just say, hey, if you're lazily putting a jacket down, it needs to be going on a hook. Like it cannot be going on a chair. The mail, same thing. There is a spot, like, now I do need to clean up that area, but here's the thing that I run into.
We have all these old magazines that we're not reading in there.
We do have some like, they're not all old magazines. Some of them are old magazines. We got like 3 old magazines. I don't have like a full collection of like Game Informers, but I have like a couple things, which I'm happy to get rid of if you desire. I don't
want to get rid of them. I just want to, I just want them packed away.
See, and that's the thing. The truth comes out. You may, hold a gun to me and say you have stupid things, but I hold a gun to you and say you have things that you refuse to throw away. That you don't.
Hey, push him to shove, we can get rid of them. I'm saying it'll be sad getting rid of them.
I think that that's the thing. You don't default to like getting rid. You default to like, but I like it. Which again, it's the and if you like stuff like, that's fine. Yeah. Like we can keep anything, but we probably, we limit our lives if we're keeping everything. Is the thing.
That's fair.
So that's something we can revisit. I do think that can get cleaned up and just be maybe like literally just mail and a couple other things. Mm-hmm. But something I've noticed that I haven't maybe quite said directly to you ever, so breaking is that you don't really like deal with your mail ever. And maybe it's because I've never like brought it out. A lot of times I throw out a lot of the like, we'll get those like, random ads for like grocery stores we're gonna go to. Like, I feel like I'm always like, I just dump that out. I don't ever
keep those.
And then I have been shoving your mail in that thing because otherwise it just sits on the table.
Oh, I don't know what's in there.
That's the thing. I'm like, I feel like you don't. And then there's more appears and you're like, I don't know. It always like goes away. I'm just shoving it there because I don't want to throw it out if it's like, you have stuff that's like, it's very obvious when you have things that like could matter. Sure. And then when you have things that don't matter, like another, oh, you've been pre-approved. Yeah, or whatever. I just straight throw that out. I'm like, but, yeah, I think it's really just like, which is like the classic issue with the dumping ground. We have places for all these things, but we just don't put them in except for the jackets. The jackets, I think we could add a hook if you don't mind like mounting I know we have like these like black ones that are like, but those are more drilled. So I don't know if you can, they're just stuck. So I think
do that.
We could do that. I can clean up what could be now just officially just a mail slot and nothing else.
But also I feel like we don't have like that thing is so big for a mail drop.
It drops in deep is the thing.
Yeah.
So do you not like it? Do you not want to use it for the mail?
I guess I would have to say no.
Back to the 3D printer, you could probably slot something that could just like make it less like, because it goes in really deep is the thing.
Yeah. We can look into it.
Yeah.
I'm not
I will totally acknowledge that I brought this thing into our home. I thought it was really cool. And I still think it's kind of cool. I don't know. But if you don't rock with it, that's okay.
I feel like it's the like equivalent to
it's
like
a big
you
metal
brought home a GameStop.
It's a
kiosk.
big thin. Okay, I think it's cool enough. Hey, we're different people. It's a bit for people. It's a big, like a tall but thin magazine rack. Yeah. Like it's like a vertical. And I have like comic books in there, and I think it's like fun. It's like there's like it's like comic books and there's magazines. And it's like you can hang out. It's like, what if you felt like you were in a waiting room all the time?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Also, if you don't like it there, we can look into move because there's like I think it could fit behind the piano, and that would be good for our books, like our piano books.
Okay.
So maybe that could be a better spot for it.
It might fit there.
I'd have to check. I'm not 100% sure because the piano can only ever be so close to the wall because it's on like it has
legs.
feet.
Yeah.
That it lives on. So because that could be good. There's a danger of you maybe kicking it when your feet are like. I have to just look at the ergonomics of that. But
sure,
we could actually use something for the piano books because you're not always using all the books at one time. And sheet music and stuff. So maybe that's where it is. But then where's the mail going? Yeah. But then what I was gonna say too with the back of the couch thing, I think it is generally good. I like it generally. That's become a new dumping ground, I will say, a little bit.
I don't think it's a dumping
ground.
And
I've been a victim of it too. There's like a bag of my Trader Joe's swimmers that are sitting there. There was like a pretzel bag there the other day. Like it gets a little. I have a liqueur can. Like it's not just you. Like I've definitely added things to it.
I see it less as dumping ground and more as like the resting place for things. which is
It's a resting place, not just a rebranded dumping ground, though.
No, it's not. Because like it's the home for things. It's the home for things that we need or that we use. First of all, like I think like our keys go there, yes. Right? You know, the little bags, your little tiny bags and bags that you like grabbing when we go shopping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When Edwin comes over, he puts his stuff there, just so it's all contained. And then I have like, I'll leave my hat there or something where it's like, oh, like, all right, cool. I want to be able to grab a hat whenever we're heading out. I'll leave it there sometimes. Or like we come back from the library and we got books, we'll keep them there. I don't see that as necessarily dumping things there as much as like, that's just where the like temporary storage is.
This is a rebranded dumping ground.
I know I'm not beating allegations, but it's different.
One thing I want, but I've been avoiding this, and I still want to keep avoiding this until we make more progress in like maxing out all that we have access to. But one thing I'd love for us to get is like a wall mounted key thing with like a top shelf, like a like there's ones that have like small baskets. It won't be as much space as what we currently have in the big basket, but it would be more like sensical. Like I'm picturing like a little basket thing that has like 2 hooks underneath, and then your hat can still hook on those hooks as well. So it's like we can have the keys.
Do like a home for my hat.
And then it's like it has a basket thing, so it's like I can put like my portable charger and a couple of the things. Maybe I can't put everything that I have in there, and that's fine. I can just like consolidate down a little bit, but yeah, that's been on there. Everything else I think is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
For what it is. I do think I
like the little charging station we have for
the charging station's great.
Our laptops and
but we
iPads
need to put in our laptop system back there also because it's like I think yes.
One issue I have, and we've been struggling. I feel like we've been struggling with this ever since we moved into this apartment. Is a place for paper towels. Like the paper towels is never where you need it. It's always where you had it last, which is never where you're at next.
I have a radical idea. What if we
get more paper towels?
Yes, get a second like paper towel rack at the apartment because we have one on the dining room table, which I think makes sense.
Sure, you're eating there. It makes sense. But sometimes,
and I'm okay with sometimes we move it to the coffee table because we have a lifty type of coffee table, which I love. Still one of my favorite piece of furniture that exists. I've liked it in every place that I've had. I think it's great. No notes on lifty top coffee table. I think we need one that's just in the kitchen.
And
maybe
we can even get one and just like mount it.
I know we've talked about there's a space above our sink that's just empty. Like it's a wall that like there's like shelving between it, but there's just like a wall that you look at.
Yep.
I think that could be a spot. I don't know if you agree or not. Obviously you don't got to decide now.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, because I think we always need, not always, but like you often need paper towels when you're cooking. Like maybe you like spill something or you want to wipe something up or you want to like clean your hands real quick, but not like formally wash them.
Yeah.
That is good for that. And then the towels can just move between those other 2 spots. And then we already have like the cleaning paper towels that live underneath the sink, which is like, oh, you just bring that out when you're like doing like, not like real cleaning. Like you're like a cleaning site, like you're cleaning the bathroom or something or the, the kitchen, but it's like they're like the nasty towels that like maybe they touch like you don't want to eat with those, so that's why we have those.
Like, for like wiping up like dirt.
Yeah, which I know the environmentalists will say we do have rags also that we use, but we have paper towels also. I think what we probably could and should do is just be really hardcore about like the dining table is no longer a dumping ground and the back of the thing can be a resting place. Because it's at least a smaller dumping ground. Again, it's really just a dumping ground. But if you want to call it a resting place, I'm okay with that. But it's at least smaller because I think the thing is the dining table has so much space. I know if we went out there now, it's full of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I put that bag that it's like the duvet is stuffed in there.
Yep.
I put that on one of the chairs. Before we started recording.
Yeah.
So but my other big dream, which I think will, once I accomplish this, if I ever can accomplish it, it's a big task, will help with some of the spacing a little bit, is like we have a very tall, like I think it's called like the Billy bookshelf at IKEA. It's like a tall modular bookshelf, but then has 2 drawers. My dream is to eliminate the need of that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because
I don't know what we're gonna do with all the stuff on there.
Well, there's not that much stuff on there, but there's just enough stuff to me. But there's just enough stuff that where are you gonna put it? Because Because what's on? Gun to your head, what's on there?
Well, this is the thing that the charging station is at. Right?
No. I'm talking about
the opposite.
I'm talking about the one with the picture frame of us on there.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you have on there now.
Yeah, there's not. I feel like there's not that much stuff on there. There's our picture frame.
So could we just get rid of
photo albums? I feel like no, because when I tried to get rid of it, you were like, don't get rid of it yet. And then I was like, I kind of needed it. Like there's our photo albums, which aren't too many. There's a picture of us. There's the top of it is great for like the random Lego stuff we have, like the Lego things I've built. We have the kind of go-to sort of like, it's like scissors and tape. It's like, I don't know what you'd call that.
Gun,
I think in other households they'd have like a junk drawer that has that in there.
Sure.
But our kitchen is so like small that we don't have like, a lot of kitchens have like, oh, there's the drawer, we put the coupons and stuff. We don't have enough drawer space to be doing that. And also, we all know that drawer is just like a drawer dumping ground. That's what the junk drawer is. So we have that. And like maybe a couple things inside the drawers that I'm forgetting. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's something I put in the drawers, but not a lot. But we had just enough stuff where I'm like, I was already like, I had gotten rid of like already our big Calyx. Like I had gotten rid of enough stuff where I'm like, I don't want to get rid of this yet. But that would be good because we have other like non-movables. Like we have an air filter that's like big and just takes up space on the ground. We have one of those little like robot vacuums.
Little Roombas.
We name him Roger. Yeah, Roger's station needs a spot. So we have a couple things that are like already immovable. So like we need to like remove all the things that are more flexible because we have so many inflexibles.
Yeah. In
like the dining table, the couch, the two TVs. The cat tree.
Yeah.
Bruce's food station also is like kind of large. You know, she has a little box. We have a couple
food.
already things that like you can never throw this out because like it literally has a use. So the more stuff that isn't like that, the better. Yeah. We'll see what the future could hold. Yeah. I feel like without it's tough because I think one of the big things, one of our biggest like space things besides the damn Pac-Man machine that I shouldn't have bought is the board game shelf, which obviously we need because we need a place to put our board games. But I think if one day we could put those somewhere else, because I still feel like honestly the drawers, the Calyxes that we have under the TV, they're still like a little. But I don't know if I'd want to put board games there because it's just so hard to reach.
Yeah,
is a thing.
I don't know where, like logistically. I don't know where it would make sense else to put.
Maybe they could be on that tall shelf.
I mean, that's kind of just what we do already. It's just,
but it's so tall that it's nice that it has the verticality. But I wish that shelf was floor to ceiling.
Yeah,
because that's what like when I talk to the board game sickos, that's what they're doing. They're like like floor up.
Yeah,
it just has stuff in there.
Yeah, but then you're short. We're doing.
Yeah, but you're tall.
Yeah,
so we're perfect together.
But if you're floor to ceiling, and it's like, all right, well, you're getting the step stool out every 2 seconds. Anytime you need to get up there to grab something.
But how often are we really like grabbing stuff out of the shelf?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, I'd like for more. The thing is, nothing's gonna be perfect, but like, I think the concession of me needing the step stool is fine because like you still exist also. So it's like, I don't need a step stool. I have a tall person that I live with. Yeah, there's something there. Because I feel like in the world where we could get rid of, forget about the Miss Pac-Man machine for a second. Let's just yeet that to the side of the room. I guess we'd have to measure it out if we could ever fit the dining table in that hole. I don't think it fits. I think it's too big.
That's even harder because then if it can't be in the corner,
it
would have to be pulled out enough from the corner that we can still get around it.
Yeah, it just maybe the truth is that this apartment sucks.
In full 180. I don't know. I think we don't have crazy too much stuff, but I do think just for the space that we have a little too much stuff.
Yeah, and I had to finally, in that it was time to work again because the new year came. I did have to put a pin in something, and also I just kind of like I only had so much energy.
Yeah.
I was working my ass off doing this. I got rid of a lot of stuff. I think the next steps to me in the living room, more so than moving stuff around, is taking out everything from inside the coffee thing and doing another version of the like, what do we have and how can we call down?
I don't think we need to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that you don't think we need to do it, or you don't want to do it?
I don't think that needs to be the next thing.
What do you think the next thing is?
I think next thing is more like figuring out additional storage, not reorganizing the storage we have.
I think we have the additional storage in part already if we just tighten up a little bit of the stuff that we have going on.
I would think that if we were like 2 reorgs ago, we just finished a reorg and we don't have the space. It's like, it is not a matter of inefficient usage. I think it's a matter of lack of like. As someone that
put the stuff in where it is, I feel like some of that is inefficient.
All right. Well, I'll let you figure that out on your own. Come to whatever conclusion it is you end up at.
I think you got to get back to making these candles, because we got a whole drawer of candle making equipment.
Hey man, that's fine. That is I think fine.
I think
you have your drawer of skates and stuff. It's like, all right. It's like, it's a hobby drawer. We each got our hobby drawer.
We got a lot of hobby drawers. We need to start building some of these things to clear up these hobby drawers. I think you take the next like 72 hours, you make a fuck ton of candles. I start crocheting like crazy, and then we just kind of we reconvene.
Bedroom.
Yeah.
Bedroom. I don't like it better. I actually like it worse.
I think I do too, which I hate. I hate that.
But it is nicer. Like, it's a more traditional bedroom setup now, or at least like in my head, what I think of, like when I think of like walking through IKEA and I see like the fake bedrooms they have set up, I think what we have now is closer to something like that. But it inherently, our room is like more rectangular shaped, and so it is hard to fit everything while still keeping access to like the closet and like some form of walking space and this, that, and the third. So I don't know.
Maybe we need to so the way we have it now, if you picture a rectangle and there's like the long side, the short side has the closet. That's like always true. It's like built-in closet. And then what we have right now is the long side has 2 drawers and like some more drawers at the end. Then there's the bed. Then there's like the other long side has like nothing, because it's like almost no space left. And then like your nightstand. I feel like it's too hard to like, I feel like we have more crossover zones and there's like less space to cross over. Like, try to each of us grab a pair of socks at the same time.
Impossible.
One of us has to get shot in the head. Like, it is. I think what if we moved it back to like what we had before, which was we walked in the room, there's the closet on the right side, the short side, and then there's like the bed. The bed's headboard is on the long side and like juts out. And then there's just like stuff on the other side, kind of. And what if that stuff on the other side was just the drawers? Like, the thing is, there's no, like, what I would love is like the drawers are near the closet, because then the clothes are all together. And that would be great. I guess it's not going to happen.
No.
So I think we just need to put the drawers back by the window again. Yeah. Where it's like we had like before we had like a big calyx shove, because we just moved basically everything that was in the studio just like got shoved into like the room because it needed a place to go. So I think those drawers back. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you do this weekend, but it's just something I think that'd be the next thing to do.
What we need is that guy on TikTok who like does the room planning with like the little figurines and stuff. We just need him to comment and be like, how do we set this room up so that bad energy from the doorway isn't choking us at night? And
do you feel like the bad energy from the doorway is choking you at night?
No, okay. I just mean in general. It's like the feng shui of the room is really bad, I'm sure, according to his videos. I think we keep it as is for now. Brainstorm some new ideas. I don't think even, obviously not this weekend.
Yeah.
Not even next weekend, but just like over the next like couple weeks.
Yeah.
Really think about, plan through, see where the pain points are, and then design the room around that.
Sure.
Instead of like, which is what we've done almost every time so far, is like just mixing it up. And so far it's just happened to be better because we've hit a boiling point and we need something to change without necessarily like really finding the best solution as much as just a different solution.
Yeah.
That's my vote. That's my vote in how we approach this. Is take a step back, stew with it, be unhappy, really get this unhappiness going so we can know what our true pain points are.
Isaiah's a big fan of like marinating.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like losing my mind and doing everything at once, which I already did that for a bit. Like I did my big shakeup, and now this is like the shakeup results, and then where does life go on after that?
Yeah.
But it's here's the thing. I like it less than it's like mixed for me. I like some aspects more and I like other aspects less. I like moving around the room less, but I like what's in there more because we did just have a shelf of just like random gaming stuff and I didn't love the drawers because before we had the drawers like at the foot of the bed. But maybe that was better. I don't know. I don't know. Like before we were like surrounded by things. Like the bed was in the middle and the drawers were at the foot of the bed. And then when you hit the wall, it was the 3D printer, and then it was the big calyx.
I forgot those were there.
Maybe that was better. You can kind of sit on the bed, and I think you like sitting on the bed and opening drawers.
Yeah, to me that's like, I don't know. If the drawers are there, yeah, I'm sitting on the bed anyways to get dressed and whatnot and dry off and everything. So yeah, sure. I don't know. I guess we'll revisit.
You look very happy picturing yourself. You're like, yes, I had a life before this, and it was where I could sit and open my drawers at the same time. Yeah.
We'll see.
You look pleased by that thought. So I think that's probably where we're end up going. But yeah, we got to figure out stuff like that. And currently we have both of our like hobby things in there, like the 3D printer and the piano.
There's also the option.
Which the piano used to be in the living room and then I moved it out. But
I mean, there's also the option of upgrading, obviously more money, upgrading our bedroom furniture to where like, oh, maybe we get like a bed frame that has like drawers underneath and stuff where it's like a lift, like a higher raised bed. They have the ones that have like the drawers on the sides that you can like store clothes underneath. We
would need like to figure out what's going on with that.
The table underneath?
The desk, yeah. What is it? Standing desk is the big thing. And we still have a lot. My dream is like no stuff under the bed. Yeah. Mine is like, maybe the standing desk because it's an absolute need currently. But we still have like quite a few things lurking under there. Some of which I need your help with because it's like they're very techie things. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't really know. Yeah. What I'm like, it's just a bag. Like there's a really heavy blue IKEA bag of like technological things, like just different. Yeah. So, I took it as far as I could take it and probably a little farther than I could physically take it. And then, which it was worth it overall, but yeah. And I think I feel good leaving this conversation because I think even though the only real thing that we could do the second is like, if you could put that hook up there, I think the hook, one hook and a little bit of discipline. And I think we could fix the discipline's really hard though, is the thing.
That is the hard part.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if you feel this way, but when I see you leave a little bit of a mess, I say, where's my mess? And I don't like go out and make a new mess, but I'm like, I see where
God.
I'm like,
what?
I see we're just stacking this chair with like jackets. So then I put my jacket over your jacket and then it's just a jacket tower.
What is all right? I mean, I can't tell you not
like
to feel that way.
Subconsciously, do you not kind of do
that?
Like, don't you feel like when something's clean, you don't want to ruin it? And then when something's not clean, you're like, well, what's going on here? It's just like a garbage pile, yes?
When I see something's clean, I want to add to it in a organized manner. That is,
you want to add to the clean?
I don't see it as me like dirtying it or messing it up. I see it as me like, I'm contributing by organizing my stuff in this corner. Clearly, that is not how you see it. So
no, it's like you're dirtying, you're plaguing the space with your items. Yeah. But that's how we're going on the apartment reorg. I think we'll save our office hours toggle thing for another time. But I mean that's really just like that's the reorg of the mind. It's really what this is, which is like basically I enjoy manipulating and moving and cleaning up physical items, not so much like I don't have any ideas for the thing. The thing is like with the apartment reorg, I had ideas and I executed on those ideas with like mixed results. I think we've taken some good steps and then some stuff like this still doesn't work and then we have to figure that out. With my personal workload, I've taken that as far as I can ever take it. And so I'm like, you are going to decide, Isaiah, what I do.
And that's fine because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy,
which is great.
Taking the wants of the apartment and manifesting it into the space.
Yeah.
You know? So far so good. Again, I think some of the staples that we wanted are back, like the double TV living room. But in the studio
I think
itself,
that's there to stay like forever because we've lived without it.
And we just got to figure out these other things, you know?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We got a lot of books to read and a lot of hobbies to re-engage with that are just sitting indoors, but we'll figure it out. All right, and that brings us to the poll of the show. Last week we launched our new poll system. Thanks to Isaiah. Isaiah figured out all this stuff. He made all these Google form things and then also formed like a million redirect URLs of like, you know, really went full computer black screen, green numbers. And he came up with where our poll of the show will basically always live. It is on gamesandnotgames.com/poll. If you go to that URL, it will redirect to either our YouTube channel when there's not an active poll or the poll when there is an active poll.
Yep.
Which the polls run from like when the episode drops until like with the Friday.
I think
before.
The Friday at midnight. Yeah. Just kind of like basically so we have all the results before we record.
Yeah. And before, you know, in the dream world, it's like, oh, the run of show's done like the day before and not like the morning of, you know, kind of thing. So again, that's gamesandnotgames.com/poll. Which shout out to y'all. Y'all came through on the new instructions.
Yeah.
Can be tough. A few people followed it. We had a couple people come in and give their responses. We had 20 responses in total, and it was basically an even split. We did a good job.
What was the question?
The question was, is Switch 2 a day one purchase for you? We had 35% yes, 35% maybe need more info, and 30% no.
Yeah. It's wild how evenly split everything was. Some of the as a follow-up kind of question on the poll, we asked like, oh, why'd you choose what you chose?
Yeah.
And some of these results, the write-ins are incredibly hilarious to me.
Yeah, the our favorite one was no. Why? I'm cheap. That was I love that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to start on the maybes, the no's? Where do you want to go? The yeses?
I think we can start with the maybes and maybe just work a little top down.
Work our way through. Yeah. So for some of the responses for maybe, we had, and for some of these I'll paraphrase, some of them are directly quote. We had, I don't touch my current Switch because all my Joy-Cons have drift. If they address that with better sticks this time, I am probably getting it. So very curious when will we have that answer though? You know what I mean? Like, and I wonder when this
some
person
time into the lifestyle or life cycle.
Like when will you feel safe from Joy-Con drift?
It's a good question.
And you know the second there's anything happening with any of those sticks, people are gonna be running to that CMS. They'd be like, someone on Twitter said that they, you know, drop maple syrup on their Joy-Con and now it's not working. Could this be a sign of doom? You know. So yeah, there also have people waiting for the OLED version. In the hope that exists.
See what games launch with it.
Yeah, we got wanting that Zelda and Mario Party before they want to make a purchase, waiting for the game lineup. We have I have a Steam Deck and need to know if it will be worth it just for Nintendo Mount Rushmore, which is really
honestly
funny.
Pretty accurate, yeah.
Yeah. Also, spoilers, yeah, probably will. Because Nintendo Mount Rushmore is better than... Everyone else is changing up their Mount Rushmore too much.
Nintendo's is pretty stable.
Yes, it's so stable. Because who else?
Mario.
What is
Link, Pikachu, Samus,
Kirby? I don't think Samus making it to the Mount Rushmore. I gotta be honest.
What do you mean? Dread was great.
It was great,
but people want the new Metroid Prime.
But I think Nintendo's Mount Rushmore is, like I said, Mario and Pikachu. They can be there. Zelda can be there. Link, you know, if you put his face, you put on there. I think that's like kind of it for the Mount Rushmore. There's other staples like. You know, there's people that filter in and out, you know?
No,
everyone else is just
definitely
filtering.
Needs to be up there. From the 2D to the 3D, Sam has been there.
I guess you can put Samus up there.
I can't believe you have me defending Samus on this podcast.
Because it's just like, I think, when you think of them releasing their big games, it always comes back to Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. Like their biggest. There's other people that are core contributors.
Sure.
Like, I think Donkey Kong is a core contributor to this team. He's been there forever.
I'm not saying that the dude from Fire Emblem needs to be on there. I'm just saying.
I think Samus is a core.
Samus is like core. What do
I think
you
Samus
mean?
has been looking for that promotion for a long time.
Defined a whole genre. Like, that's got to be worth something.
It's worth a feather in your cap.
That's crazy. That's insane.
And look, I know it's only 20 people. When you look at these write-ins, ain't no peep on Metroid on here, okay? We got people looking for the Zelda, looking for the Mario Party, Mario Kart. It's not Metroid Kart.
That's crazy.
It's not Metroid Party. That'd go to a Metroid Party. Yeah, but you're not gonna have it because it doesn't sell.
Man.
We have
sound off in the comments.
Yeah,
that should be the poll of the show.
Who's the Nintendo Mount Rushmore?
Nintendo Mount Rushmore.
We can. It's not too late to change it. Yeah, we also have some no's on people saying, one person wrote in and said, PC is my primary platform and I have little time or supplemental income to warrant console gaming in general. I think that makes sense. You're right now on the consoles. Yeah. The people who are on PC, they're like, I've been on PC forever. And then they really just waited it out. And honestly, they came up. They're like, some PlayStation games coming in. They're only
here day one.
They're only gaining. So that's been pretty good. We got a no waiting for new 3D Mario or OLED. We of course have the no on being cheap, and then we have a yes also as one of my favorites. I like new things. Me too.
Yeah,
we filled an apartment of things, and we're gonna add, guess what, we're gonna add another thing. Switch 2 is coming in.
Oh man, I don't know where this is gonna live. I guess underneath the TV.
And again, well, Switch 1 is gonna put that in the car, and that's why you're like, I think the coffee table storage is fine. I'm like, Isaiah, I manage that storage. It's full of old birthday bags and Guitar Hero peripherals. It is not It is not a clean area. You know, you found the Brita filters in there. How are you gonna say this, man? Come on, Isaiah. Like, it's okay. We got Nintendo fanboys since day one, always. We also have someone talking about PC gaming and them kind of like, you know, being a lifelong console gamer and then getting into PC now. They said, I think the Switch 2 can be a standout amongst its competitors as the best option for most people in the gaming handheld space. And then they kind of refer to like, you know, the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally or the Rogue Ally, and just them kind of having that higher price point and all of that. And this kind of being like a core bit for that. I think this is also the write-in that mentions the plug-in. Yeah, the plug-and-play nature of the Switch, which technically you can plug in the Steam Deck, but we all know no one wants to like do that. You know what I mean? It just feels a little bit too complicated, even though it's not. But like, there's a reason that I have you do that, and I don't need you to plug in my Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean?
Well, now that I put the actual like Steam dock out there, it is plug and play. Like it is just as easy as the Switch. You just put it down, you plug it in, it goes to TV. Great.
But there's nothing like there's just like a place, and then there's
Big
like a
Snap. They're marketed to you. They got you.
Yeah, I'm in the pocket of Big Snap. Yeah, we also have someone saying that like it's their wife's go-to system, so they're like in it for life. And then we also have, I love having a handheld device, but I'm tired of how slow the Switch is. I'm assuming this will be much faster, fingers crossed. I'm also always excited for new Nintendo games. I've been avoiding Steam Deck because it looks heavy to me and the price is steep if you want the storage, which is true.
That's fair.
It is heavy, and if you want storage, it is a little expensive. So, and I think it's expensive even without the storage, but it's more expensive with the storage. So, yes, thank you for all of your write-ins. Again, the extra info is always optional, but it's been great. I feel like we get more responses. You know, I look in the replies on on Twitter, BlueSKy, not so much, but like here, it's like it's all on. You know, you don't gotta log in. You don't gotta log into anything. You don't gotta do anything. You just put your words. The only thing we have on our end is like timestamp, answer, and if you wrote the optional response. Like we don't have any way to trace this back to any other information, which is cool and nice, and I like that aspect. So that was our poll from last week. Isaiah, what is our poll this week?
Our poll this week is, how often are you reorganizing your house or apartment? And again, we're on this new poll system. So remember, you can answer this by going over to gamesandnotgames.com/poll. Let us know, and we'll bring the results to next week's episode.
And that is it for this week. You can send us your questions and topics to the email inbox@gamesandnotgames.com. You can follow the podcast version of the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to give us that 5-star rating.
5 stars.
I got 5 on it.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. If you are an audio listener, remember that you can get the video version over on YouTube at Games and Not Games. And if you like the video, be sure to give us a like, leave a comment. It helps us get in front of more people. Growing the YouTube is definitely one of my goals for the year. So anything you can do to help us reach more people is greatly appreciated. Remember, you can also follow us on social media. You can find us everywhere at Games and Not Games. It's mostly BlueSKy, Twitch, maybe TikTok now that it's back. Who knows? And until next time, anything else?
No, that's it.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
Peace.